Hey, what's up, guys? So, I'm late with this one. I legit just finished setting up May in my asextology, and yeah, that's just life. Whatevs. At least I got it done. But last month wasn't so bad with my spending. I think I did, pretty okay. I was able to sink, like um, a little over $200 last month. So that was really nice. But yeah, so this is how my May set up. It's really simplistic. I didn't, like, after last month's bear extravaganza, I felt like not doing that again. Artistic bullet journaling is not my jam. Like I like it every so often, but for the most part, I like things to look clean and simple. And this month's layout is about as simple as you can get. Like, I didn't even feel like drawing full lines. That's how much I was not in the mood for for being extra. I just not in the mood. But for this month, I actually get 3 checks in May. So I have some pretty lofty goals for myself when it comes to my finances. My goal is to set aside $600, because I don't know about you, but anytime I see that there's like an extra check in a month, I'm like, oh sweet, that's an extra full check that I can use to like do something great with. And at the end of the month, I'm just like, where the hell is that extra check? Like, where the hell did that go? Like, I'm not understanding. This is an extra paycheck. I'm supposed to have extra money, but there's no extra full paycheck. Like, where'd that go? So I'm hoping with this new system that this year I will be able to actually save around $600. That's the goal. $600 to save that. That's what my eye is on right now. Because having all these layouts helps me track my spending and track my money and where it's going, and hopefully I'll be able to reach that goal this month, because one of my big financial goals is to save up um, at bare minimum 3 months of income, like for emergencies, like all my expenses and my rent and things like that. Save 3 months worth of that and set it aside, and then really start bearing down and paying off student loan debt. But first, I would feel much more comfortable doing that if I had that cushion in the event that something happened and I need that money. But yeah, anyway, so since I had literally just finished setting this up and drawing and writing all this stuff out, I did not fill in any of my sheets except for some expense tracking, because I had already started, spending money. And I need to stay on top of my daily spending to make sure it stays within the budget. But yeah, I did not fill out my bill tracker, so I had to do that before I started calculating where all my money is going, and to see how much I would have at the end of this paycheck, to see if there was anything, if anything, I could put away to set aside into a sinking fund of some sort or savings. Like, I couldn't figure out which. So a lot of my pages are just blank. But yeah, so regarding my bills, I dropped Netflix. Like, this is like a continuous battle with me with these subscriptions, figuring out like what I want to keep and what I want to take away. Because originally I had Hulu, and then I dropped Hulu, and then I got Netflix. And then I think I had it for like maybe 2-3 months, and I dropped Netflix because they keep raising their prices, and they're losing, and they're losing all the Disney stuff. So no more Marvel movies or anything, and because Disney is getting their own thing. And so I dropped Netflix because they're trying to raise it to like $16 a month. I'm like, you're venturing towards cable prices. Like, I'm not even, no thanks. So I dropped that and got Hulu back because Hulu actually dropped their prices. So now so I just basically switched Netflix for Hulu again. And I have Amazon Prime, but I mean, there isn't really much on there. I don't know. Like, they get a couple of good things, and then the rest is just like, meh. Thank God I get that quick shipping, because otherwise this benefit is not serving me very well. Like, at all. And I had to battle my freaking electric company last month because I have to call in my meter readings because they don't have access to my backyard so they can read my meter. So I have to call them in. And I call in my meter readings, and every time I call in my meter readings, for some reason my bill is just exponentially higher than it should be. And then I called them to tell them that, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll fix it, like, we're sorry, yada yada yada. But then I look at my bill, I'm like, but my bill hasn't changed. And they're like, oh yeah, like, we'll credit you for next month's bill. And it's just like, but you said you were going to change it, and then you decided not to change it. I don't know how that works. It's annoying. So my bill, for some reason, in the nice, mild spring weather that we've been having for the past, like, couple weeks, and by mild, I mean, like, rainy. Like, for some reason, it's higher than it is during the winter time when I have the heater on all the time. Like, how are you coming up with these calculations? How is that working? But anyway, off my weird, my weird ranting. So I'm really sorry that the video is like half cut off because apparently Baby Planner has been playing with my tripod, and I for some reason did not notice how tall it is. For some reason, I don't know. And when I started recording, because I'm just used to it just being in the same position, and when I started recording it, I'm like, yeah, this is fine. And then I went to go look at it, I'm like, it's half cut off. And I'm sorry. But you're not really missing anything except for, math. Like, all I'm doing there is just subtracting all my bills that I'm going to pay within this paycheck. And that's it. Like, that's pretty much my budgeting. And I realize, like, when I like look on social media and see questions about budgeting, or hear how my friends, like, even some of my friends are like super intimidated by budgeting. And I don't really think, like, for me, budgeting is not that, I don't know, it's not that deep. I think it's less about being intimidated by the act of doing the math and figuring out a budget than it is confronting your spending habits and seeing exactly where your money goes. Like, I think it's more fear of that, and seeing and realizing how bad your spending habits may be. But at the end of the day, like, you can't fix something if you don't know what's broken or how it's broken, right? So I think once you jump over that fear of being confronted with how, like, on what level your spending is, then you can fix it. And maybe you don't want to fix it. Maybe there's just some comforts you really do enjoy, and that's fine. Just figure out a way to fit it reasonably within your budget. I mean, it ain't that deep. Like, but once you confront your spending, you can figure out, like, okay, I can allot like $3.50 for groceries. I can allot this much for, for personal spending or an allowance. I can allot this much for gas. Like, this is how much gas we need a month. This is it. And if you're lower than that, sweet. But I mean, I just think everyone should know at the very basic level where the hell your money's going. Because you're working these jobs, or you're running your businesses, and that saying, time is money. That's really it. Like, you're working these jobs, spending your time doing that. Your life, like, you're spending your life doing that. You should know where your money's going, how you're spending your life. Hashtag, life advice or something. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, back to my budgeting, non-ramblish whatevs. So anyway, even though it's cut off, like, I'm doing all my calculations and I'm getting down to the end. And by the end, like, my savings goal was to save $50 this paycheck, because the bulk of my bills are going to be coming out of this particular paycheck, the first one. My savings goal was basically $50. Nothing super lofty, right? Like, at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, I can, use some of my allowance to pay toward it, I guess. But at the end, it actually turned out, after all my calculations, I can actually save $60 instead of the $50. The next two paychecks, much larger chunks will come out of those, because there are less bills to pay within those time frames. But usually, around the first of the month, like, everybody's bills want to be paid all at once for some reason. I don't know. And then I went back to fill out my sinking funds page. So far I have, 5 sinking funds left. I have my homeschool, my Christmas, my daughter's fall winter wardrobe fund, my car fund, and my daughter's birthday party fund, because she hasn't had a birthday party since she was like 2. So I figure, it's time. It's been like almost 10 years. It's time for a birthday party. But last month I was only able to sink like $20 into every single fund, which is fine, because I basically started zero. And I'm thinking by the end of this month, my homeschool fund should be complete, because even though right now it's like, $29 starting this month, even though it's starting at $29, I've sunk about $100 into that fund so far this year. I've just been spending it on homeschool things throughout the year. So I'm hoping by the end of this month that I will have completely funded that fund, which my goal was like $300. And hopefully that'll be done, and then I can just focus on the last 4, and it will go quickly. Like, this sinking fund thing, though, has turned out really quickly, like filling it really quickly, and I'm pleased at that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this month. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you have clicked it, thank you so much for doing so. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, bye.